So, towards that end, let's invite up our first presenter. It's Barry Seaton from Ardent Mills. And Barry will be with us as part of the roundtable session later on as well, but he's got a specific thing that he'd like to present at this point.
Thanks. I have some best practices to prevent. Do have some video clips from previous practice for each task and currently what we're doing now, and just some of our safety programs that are leading us. Sorry, just some technical difficulties here. Yeah, that's the one we have to change, yeah. Yeah, these videos aren't user-friendly. So this is a task. These drums can weigh up to 60, 70 pounds, and this is a task that we're currently, from the past that we're doing, and we have stopped that practice. So now we have a different way of doing it, and I'll show you that momentarily once this first clip is done. So that's dumping ingredients directly in our system. And this is currently what we're doing now. So this is a simple lifting device that was installed about 15 years ago, and this is how it eliminated the lifting completely. This is another task that was being done. Employee is lifting approximately 20 kilos. This box is obviously empty at the moment. And this task, you could lift at least 50 to 60 of these boxes up to that level in an 8-hour shift. So that's what was done in the past. This is what we're currently doing now. We installed a lift that the employee no longer lifting that carton, climbing the stairs repeatedly throughout the 8-hour shift. Now that employee can go on that lift, and as you see in a few seconds, it will just slide that carton across to where he's going to be dumping that ingredient into the system. Here's another task. Again, that was reformed. You can dump, this employee can dump up to at least 100 of these shortening cubes. They weigh 20 kilos also. And now we have eliminated that, and we installed a lift. And this is what we're currently doing today. We just installed a lift and no longer lifting that carton from that level. And we have had previous injuries in all these scenarios I'm showing you in the past. And these are some of the barriers that we have removed to eliminate the risk and eliminate complete lifting. And this is another area we had some injuries in. We do have a self-assist system that we're now using. This door weighs approximately 100 pounds, and we had some injuries there from the door falling employee's finger and had some serious injuries. So we now have a self-assist to now that door will weigh about 5 pounds versus 100 pounds. just going to talk about some of our safety practices. For example, we have a safety training calendar. Let me just put that to full screen. So we have a safety training calendar that supervisors and managers will take ownership of each topics. And here's, for example, of some of them: lock, tag, try, confined space, elevated work, ergonomics, back safety, personal protective equipment, and the emergency action plan, electrical safety, and as you can see, DNA, drug and alcohol harassment in the workplace. So each manager or supervisor will take ownership of a specific topic, and you have to become expert of these topics. So any questions are asked from the employees, you have to be able to answer that, and continuous improvement. Again, some of our safety programs, BST, Behavioral Safety Technology. This is an employee-driven program. The employee drive this program. They have observation throughout daily observation, and we also have each department that'll come to different department and do an observation, because someone from the office is going to see a totally different eye to a different task that they've never seen done before. And from these observations, we have a barrier removal team that will remove the barriers from any observation that identify any risk. So that's a great program, and it has worked wonderful for us. Again, here's another program, WIG, the Wild Important Goals, where the facility will pick 2 or 3 measurable goals, and they'll have the employee involved in these goals. There are some of the examples we have: the pre-job discussion, what-if discussion before starting routine and non-routine tasks. And this is, again, a great program that worked for us over the years, including the next one down is near-miss reporting. We also have a toolbox, or we call it bi-weekly safety talk, which is conducted in each shift. So during these safety talks, a lot of issues may come up, and these safety talk doesn't have to be led by the supervisor. We have employees from different departments, managers from different departments who will lead the safety talk. This is another great program we implemented about 8 months ago. We want everyone in the company and Ardent Mills, in each facility, each department, to be safety champion. So that's what we promote. All has to have a safety champion behavior. So each day, employees will fill out. Wow. Okay. Anyway, each day. Anyway, daily behaviors. Each employee will fill one out. For another employee, we do have a gift card, so we'll review them each month. The management will review these notes. We'll pick one, and the employee, along with who filled it out, we have a $50 gift card which is awarded to both employees. And this program has been going well, and it's just, anyway, if you have any more questions about this, we can, at the end, I can answer more questions, how well this program's been working. Again, this is a pneumatic lift table that we use throughout the plant. You can see the employee, once you finish dumping the bags from one side of the pallet, we can turn that table around so it doesn't have to reach to the other side. And we have injuries in this area before, and this is the implementation that we've put in place for about 10 years now. And we haven't had any more incident on this particular task. Ergonomics. I also lead office ergonomics and the plant ergonomics. So these are some of the implementation that we've been doing. And the top, you can see there's a scoop there and some ingredients. Ergonomically, that current scoop that's being used, employees have developed wrist injuries from that repetitive task. And some of what we have done, we have a rotation of every 4 hours to every 8 hours, but that's not enough. We're now switching over As you can see in the bottom slide, we're going to be purchasing some hydraulic lift tables that tilt towards you. And we did purchase a few of the ergonomic scoops. You can see how on the ergonomic scoop, the weight is not actually on your wrist. So it's a great tool and it had great feedback so far since we started testing them. And that's the route we're going to be going. So it's just definitely continuous improvement in every task. And this is done also through the observation program. And that's the end. Any questions?
I was wondering, when the earlier slides, when you talked about each manager needed to be responsible for health and safety knowledge area.
The training, yes.
They were go-to. Who developed the training?
The Ardent Mills itself developed the training.
And is that a performance management indicator for your management staff? How
Yes.
well they do in that
Yes.
particular capacity?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Excuse me. I noticed on a couple of your slides you mentioned that a lot of the interventions were 10 or so years that you implemented. Was there any some cost-benefit analysis on it? Consider the fact that you having some equipment last for 10 years and so much long years of benefits, where not companies ever measure it and ever celebrate those and communicate those type of success throughout the company.
Yes. When we looked into removing these barriers, the first thing we thought about, because there was multiple injuries being occurred, the cost was not a factor. We also looked at simplifying the cost also. And that simple lift that you saw there, that was just something our maintenance department came up with. The idea came off the floor from the employees, and then it was took to the maintenance department, and very inexpensive solutions, as you can see, that we had there. It's okay, as much as you need.
I just wondered if you thought your next step might be, rather than all the scooping, automatic dispensing.
Yes, that area that's being used, those are in an area that we're making up our key ingredients there. Those are non-bulk ingredients, has to be dumped into the system. So that area, yes, it can be done, but it would be a challenge. We have ingredients that would cost $300 a kilo. So once you automate that, there's always a tolerance for each ingredient. So if you're looking at different ingredients and the functionality of each ingredient, some of those cannot be automated.
Rather than having, I guess my question
Sorry.
was, unless I misunderstood what you said, thank you. Rather than having the employees going through the scooping motion, could that not be dispensed into a container, and then they do it that way, as opposed to all the repetition?
Yes, it can be done that way. That's one we're looking at also, of having the bins that tilts go into one container. That's also one of the solutions we're looking at.
All right, so we'll have some opportunities later on as well to talk further about this. So let's again